What does it do, or what did it do?
Welcome back to another episode of My Western Way. We're on number 5, and if you can't see, we've changed our scenery again. We're getting there.
You smell that?
Oh my god, Austin just shit his pants. I swear.
Profanity.
Oh god. Does anyone else's husband, make it a priority to come and find you and, pass gas on you every single time? He'll be, dead asleep, I swear, and roll over, and he'll roll over to make sure that his butt is touching my leg.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, because you're probably asleep. It's just natural habit for you now, I think. But we have new scenery. We got a new table that apparently was supposed to be a dining table, but if we were sitting here to eat, we would be throwing some major elbows. It's pretty tiny, but it works perfectly as a podcast table, and it's cute and scenery, and now just the next thing we need is a sign above our heads that says My Western Way.
Yep.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
But
so far so good.
So far so good. And now we both have sweet teeth. Freshly made. Anyways, talking about throwing elbows. Last night we went to dinner at Chili's, and there was 6 of us and a baby. And I swear they put us at the smallest table they could have possibly put us at. It was tiny.
Did we eat?
Yeah, we ate.
Okay.
What?
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Okay, so I was thinking, speaking of the Chili's, so we went with a couple of our friends, and I was thinking we could talk about tips for making friends as married couples, because I think that's a new and kind of challenging, transition. As people, in their early 20s, we had to transition out of the, bar phase, going out all the time phase, and then, yeah, you were part of that too, don't even make that face, and then transition from that phase of meeting new people that way, with some liquid courage, to just naturally meeting people and becoming friends. That's what I was thinking we could talk about today.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So,
sounds good.
How do you, how has that, since we've been married, transitional phase, what have you felt, or, how do you think it has gone? I don't really know how to ask this. In your, words, how has it gone for you? Has it been different or difficult? Or...
Yeah, difficult to talk to people, I feel like, because
yeah.
I'm not good at talking to people if I'm, not drinking.
But yeah. And I think it kind of helps you find yourself a little more, too, because you find people aren't just talking to you or liking you because you're funny when you're drunk. They're liking you as a person on the inside and what you care about and think about and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But I came up with a couple of tips, literally while we were sitting in church. I was thinking of them because I was like, we need to record a podcast episode. We just got home from church and set this room up in an hour. But we had to eat first because Austin gets a little hangry if he doesn't eat every 3 hours. So we have to keep him well fed around here, well fed and well bred. I don't know why. I just thought of but we have to keep him fed around here or all heck breaks loose. You agree? No?
I really don't get too cranky if I don't eat.
Oh yeah? Say it with a straight face.
Huh?
Say it with a straight face.
Next.
But anyway, so the first tip that I came up with while sitting at church was that you have to get out of your comfort zone to make friends.
What's true?
Especially
very far out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. What did you say yesterday? Like, I helped bring you out of your comfort zone? Or
Yeah, like over time, like you forced me to do things. Not force me, but pretty much force.
Yeah.
And
Little to no other options.
so I just kind of do it and then like adapt to it, and
You always end up liking it.
yeah.
So one of the things that when I moved to Texas, I had made a podcast, I think about, or maybe a blog post, about making friends when you move to another state. And like a lot of this is very similar, but you're doing it as a couple, which I think sometimes makes it easier, but I'll get more into that with the tips later. But you have to push yourself to go and try new things, to meet new people, and kind of go to them and not always let them like come to you. You know, you have to take opportunities and step outside of your comfort zone. And one of those things was when I moved to Texas, I started going to a church, and they had a young adult life group, and I started going to that and made some good friends out of that. It's every Wednesday night, and I loved it. And there's couples in the group, and I always kind of wanted Austin to go with me and would hint at it, but that was never really like his thing of like, he's always been a shy person, like meeting new people. So asking him to go to where a group of people are already like established as a friend group was kind of a more difficult thing for him to want to do. And I think I went maybe twice while we were actually like dating. No, were we already married?
No.
I went a couple times without him, and like then he would just like be home when I got home, and I would tell him about it, what we did, and it took only a couple times, and then he started to go with me. And what did you think, like, the first time he went?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, he ended up really liking it, and now he loves it. And that's primarily, like, where all our friends have came from. And if he wouldn't have pushed himself out of his comfort zone to go find that out, then we wouldn't have those friends that we do everything with now, right?
Everything?
Basically. Like,
Yeah.
if it involves, like, going out and hanging out with friends, that's usually who we end up going with.
Yeah,
And then the second tip that I came up with was that you have to invite people and kind of chase after them, which sounds like weird. But if you sit back and let everybody come to you, and like, I think our personalities have naturally like attracted people to us, because Austin is just freaking funny. Like, this podcast doesn't even do justice of how funny he can be, because he's still in the quiet mode. He's still warming up to it, but like, we have naturally attracted couples. Like, we have very similar interests as a lot of people that want to be friends with us, and people just, like, we're nice people usually. Usually. It depends if he's hangry or not.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But we're usually pretty nice people, and people tend to like us. I'm not trying to sound like cocky, but like, we do usually make friends wherever we go.
Pretty much.
Which is funny, because we're both not super talkative people to new people.
Well, yeah.
But you have to, again, kind of go outside of your comfort zone, but invite people to hang out with you. So one of the things that we started doing is inviting people over that we've kind of really grown to love and want to be friends with. We started inviting them over now that we have a place to like host people and have fun hangout. So it's been like once a month since we've had our house. We'll have everyone over and play cornhole and basketball, and we have all this stuff now, but just kind of host everybody to come hang out. And I think people really appreciate that, and that gives us a talking point for, you know, when we see them next too.
Yeah.
But what do you think about like that tip.
What's up?
Tip number 2, inviting people.
I'm just listening to you talk.
And wait.
Inviting people over.
Yeah. Do you think that's been good for making friends?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's good. It's also like another thing. I'm like, to get you out of your comfort zone, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of getting out of your comfort
Because then
zone.
they see what, like, then they, like, see, like, you live like and what you
Yeah.
do and what you.
Like in your natural habitat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which helps you be more comfortable too. Like, do you feel more comfortable when it's at our house versus going to, like, the life group house? Before. So,
Yeah.
like, earlier stages. Now you're pretty comfortable, but before. So yeah, that's kind of tip number 2 is, like, going out of your comfort zone to invite people. It's not always, like, the most exciting thing to, like, host everyone because, like, all the cleanup and stuff like that, but it's a really good and easy way to make everyone feel comfortable and make yourself, most importantly, feel comfortable around other people. Do you have any tips for, like, making new friends?
Yeah, learn how to start a conversation, I guess.
Yeah. And that's just, like, I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten much better at least trying to hold a conversation or find a talking point. One thing I've learned that has someone that was my boss, like, a couple years ago, had told me, like, the easiest way to start a conversation is to start asking the other person about them. People love to talk about themselves, which is, like, so true. So if you start asking about them, they'll feel really comfortable, and people that are complete strangers will become your best friend in, like, 2 seconds because they'll tell you their whole entire life story.
Interesting.
So I asked you a lot of questions about you.
When?
Like, when I first started hanging out and stuff. Like, I guess it was more at night than anything, but I knew I was gonna be locked down.
Locked in.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Locked in.
Speaking of getting outside of our comfort zone, Austin and I went to get tattoos, and we got tatted together with the same thing, basically. Do you want to say what you got?
MC for what?
I don't know, what is that?
Her initials. Your initials.
Yeah. You got my initials. He's in love. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But we also both so I got an A on my wrist, back of my wrist. And then we both got Roman numerals of our wedding date. Which, that's, like, sort of a controversial thing too. They
have people's names or stuff tattooed on you.
Yeah.
Like, don't marry the person if you don't think you're gonna spend forever with them. So, like, people are like, why would you ever get someone's name tattooed on you? Because you don't ever know what can happen. Well, why marry that person if you don't ever know what's gonna happen? Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
like you're clearly not confident enough in what you're doing if you're afraid to get someone's name or anything to do with them, like, on you permanently, because if you don't, like, believe and that it's alright to have someone's name or something about them on you permanently, then what makes someone think a ring is something permanent, you know?
Yeah, I think of it, there's a lot of times that I, like, am kind of superstitious about things, of, like, when I was younger and I played softball, I used to wear the same, like, outfit exactly if we won a game before. Like, I would wear the same socks, the same pants, like, everything the same just because I felt like we won because I wore that outfit, which is like ridiculous now that I think about it. But
Yes.
I always have been like kind of superstitious, and I've always been like, no, I'm not getting like anything to do with the other person like tattooed on me. But yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, why wouldn't I? Like, tattoos are supposed to be meaningful, and obviously like Austin is one of the most important things to me, like part of my family. And like, why wouldn't I get that tattooed on me? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that. But there are a lot of people that get it tattooed. We heard a couple horror stories from our tattoo artist that there was like a young couple. They were going to get a tattoo together. He didn't know. They ended up breaking up in the parking lot before they even got their tattoos. And then a couple was going to get rings tattooed on them. And they never came back and like to get it actually done. So there's definitely horror stories of people that like jump the gun and don't maybe make rash decisions, but Austin and I haven't done anything by the books really, but
Pretty much.
yeah, but it's working so far so well for us. And yeah, anyways, back to the main topic here.
Back to the main topic.
Okay, the last tip that I had, I kind of forget. Oh, but I guess it kind of falls in line with like everything else we've been talking about, but like get active in your community. Like there's so many outlets and ways that like you can kind of find different ways to meet people. So obviously we joined the life group and do that, but like we're interested in sports, so we might do something with like a rec softball league or like something kind of like that where we could meet new people. And then just like with the business we have between each other, like both of our own businesses, we've been able to meet people through that and just different ways, but be open to meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
And always put on like a friendly face so people, you know, want to talk to you, want to get to know you, other than just like making a sale or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Through that.
Any other tips that you have for making new friends? Do you like making friends as a couple better than going out and making friends yourself? Like before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but what I was gonna say about like going to groups, I think personally, this is
Personally speaking.
that making friends as a couple is easier because like you use your two personalities as like an advantage, really. Like you take the best of both personalities and put them together, and then bam, it's just great. But what I was going to say was you don't want to hide behind like your partner either, of like you don't. It's really easy to go into a place that you're uncomfortable and only talk to the person that you know. But like you have to be open and kind of go your separate ways. Like when we go to life group, the men go with the men, like women go with the women. And we kind of separate. So we make our own friendships within life groups. So I think that's really important to just venture out by yourself in whatever thing you're doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Be a baller.
Be a baller, shot caller. I think that's all the tips that I have.
That's all?
Yeah. I kept it to only 19 minutes.
That was supposed to be inspirational.
You don't think it was? Do you think other couples will be able to make friends with our tips? No.
What were the tips again?
Okay, the first tip was to get outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you always gotta get out of your comfort
zone.
zone.
Now we're gonna go back to each one, and now he's gonna put in his input.
Okay, what was the second one?
It only took us 20 minutes to get him to talk. The second one was to get outside your comfort zone. The second one was to invite people.
Yeah,
Or
invite
like
people.
chase after people.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
The third one was yours. What was yours, kind of?
I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It was to. Yeah, I don't know.
ASMR.
We were talking about ASMR yesterday at dinner, and I don't know. Does ASMR make y'all uncomfortable? Like,
Uncomfortable or comfortable.
yeah, which one?
ASMR is
I didn't know like it.
asthma.
Autonomous, synonical. That's wrong. Something. There's an ASMR actually stands for words, but they're all like the same word for like listening. No, say like ASMR. Like, what is ASMR? Anyway,
ASMR. A feeling well-being combined with a tingling sensation in the scalp.
ew, what?
That's
weird.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. ASMR is not for me, but I see
And
those
if it
people
turns you
TikTok.
on, or what? If it sends you a
Tingling sensation.
Yeah, tingling sensation down from your top of your head to your butt crack, then that's weird. One noise.
If we go viral for anything, it'll probably be ASMR.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
That's fine.
No. But anyways, thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of My Western Way. We have got stuff to do, so we gotta call it a wrap. But we appreciate you guys tuning in. And we're calling Gossa in here for the big finale. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like, share, rate, and leave us a review. And download our episodes and tag us if you share us, and we'll give you a shout out because we appreciate it so much. We can only do big things without, or we can't do big things without y'all. So, we appreciate y'all, love y'all, and we will be back on Wednesday.